Hi guys, it's me, Izua Tekami, and welcome to Would You Rather. This is not quite a game, just more of something. Well, I guess it could be a game, but I thought it'd be something nice to do that help me, or help you get to know me better, and possibly let me get to know you guys better. Um, these can be uh either really interesting questions, really stupid questions, but maybe you'll just get to know me better as a person by seeing how I answer and what my logic would be. And I'd love to hear, or I guess read, what your guys' answers to these questions would be. Let's get this started, I guess. Would you rather have 50% of your body burned or 100% of your body tattooed? Well, having your body 50% of your body burned, it doesn't say how badly burned or um if burned like by a fire or burnt like sunburned. But then if you're tattooed, you could always just the tattoos aren't super specific. You could just have it all tattooed as um like a slightly lighter or slightly darker shade of your current skin color, and technically it would be tattooed. But then you have to go through all of that. But if 50% of your body is just lightly sunburned, that's probably easier to deal with in the long run because hell, it'll heal on its own. And apparently I was wrong. All right. Would you rather win the World Series or win the Super Bowl? I have a feeling this is more geared towards people. If I remember correctly, isn't the World Series for baseball? And the Super Bowl is obviously for American football. Uh, I am not a fan of American football at all. I think it's a very stupid sport, but that's just my opinion. I like baseball. It's fun to play, but if you're watching it in person, dear God, it's fucking boring. Just because they spend more, it seems like they spend so much time doing everything that they can other than actually playing the game. But so if I had to choose between the Super Bowl as American football or the World Series as baseball, I prefer baseball in the World Series. Okay, I was wrong with that one too. Would you rather star in a cartoon movie or star in a live action movie? Okay, this one's, I guess, more geared towards me. Um, for those of you who may not know, or may not have known, even if you've found this channel from the different Facebook pages that I run, one of the things I'm really into is voice acting, and I've actually met a couple voice actors for different anime, and I always thought it would be really cool to be a voice actor. I have a feeling I'd do a lot. I have practiced doing live acting because I've done acting for school plays and theater to an extent, but so I can do both if I need to, but I'd prefer to do voice acting. But that's just my opinion because it adds a kind of a bit of mystery to it to an extent. All right. I'm getting all of these wrong apparently. Would you rather dress only in styles famous 15 years ago or dress only the way you did when you were 15? Well, 15 years ago would have been 2001. So I don't really know what the clothing styles were back then. Dress only the way you did when you were 15. Um, my the way I dress when I was 15 is not really all that different than how I dress now. There's slightly more jeans that I wear as pants compared to khakis and slacks, but and I pretty much always wear blue sweaters, but That's really the only difference. So I'd do that. Oh, hey, it's the first one I've gotten that's actually been with the majority. Would you rather be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company or be a president of a prominent country? Well, I guess that depends what country and where and I guess it'd be the CEO of Fortune 500, but then that's all. I don't know. Uh, because if you're CEO of a company, you have to know a bunch of economics to an extent and business management, which I don't really have that much experience. But as a history major, or having a degree in history, I can use that to help me run a country. And since I do have some experience teaching or being taught and learning and studying um, government and politics, it'd probably be easier to be the president of a country. And of course, I'm back in the wrong. Would you rather cheese grate your upper arm or slide down a fireman pole covered in tacks in a pool of. Oh, ooh. How badly do I have to cheese grate my arm? Just one? Oh, fuck. Um, well, uh, do I have to. If I'm sliding down that fireman pole, am I in clothes? Can I just slide straight down and. Ooh. Uh, well, if you're sliding down in a fireman's pole, that's gonna be in your inner thighs and your hands. If you cheese grate your arm, though, that's more pain but shorter. It's a shorter instance of it happening, not so much of what's gonna come after. Uh, I don't know. This one's a tough one. I'd say maybe uh, cheese grate my upper arm. Ugh. Would you rather be a wizard or be king of England? Heck, why can't I be a wizard and then be the king of England? I'd rather be a wizard. King of England by himself doesn't have that much power. If you were in a pinch, would you rather rely on the A team or rely on MacGyver? Honestly, I've heard that name, but I don't know what it's from, so I'm going with the A team. Would you rather work at Aperture Science or work at Black Mesa? I'm gonna skip that one because I don't get any of those references. Would you rather always be hot or always be cold? Well, due to where I used to live, I have a very, very high tolerance to heat. So heat doesn't really bug me all that much. The cold does. But I'm always, well, if you're cold, that'll keep you awake. But in heat, that gets you tired. Um, I guess be cold because I can always warm myself up. But to be hot, it'd be a lot harder to deal with. And then you'd have to be constantly drinking water to stop yourself from sweating as much. Would you rather be Chev Helios from Crank or be the transporter? Don't. Nope. Would you rather date Topanga from Boy Meets World? Date Pant? Don't. No. Would you rather be married to a morbidly obese and ugly person who's incredibly wealthy or be married to a gorgeous person who is on welfare? Well, to me, it doesn't. Money in a relationship, in my opinion, should never be an issue. Okay, here's an example of what I mean. Okay, between me and my girlfriend has grown up in a far better um, economic standing than I have. Even though her parents were divorced like mine and whatnot, she was always pretty much well off in terms of money compared to me, where I've almost been homeless more times than I can count. and always have been very tightly strapped with money. I couldn't go to prom because, for example, in high school because I didn't have the money to do that, and I had to choose between trying to find the money for my girlfriend and I's first anniversary or prom, which she didn't really have an interest for in any way. But I couldn't afford to do prom. I couldn't afford to do a lot of things. Um, and even now, for example, I didn't even get my first actual full-time job till about February of this year. And because of money problems and whatnot, I don't even have a driver's license yet. Even though technically you can get it when you turn 16. And I'm almost 23. That's how poor I've been. So to me, money doesn't matter. So I don't know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, that one. It doesn't matter to me, really. And I don't care. The looks don't matter either. It's all about personality. Would you rather listen to everything but your favorite musician artist? Listen to only your favorite musician artist. I don't really have a favorite. I have maybe favorites of certain genres, but never one specific favorite that goes above all the others. So I guess that one works better. For the rest of your life, would you rather drink the same thing or eat the same meal? Ooh. Well, I can live drinking only water and ice water. I'd be perfectly fine with that because, frankly, soda is really, really bad for you. Like, they've proven that it can actually cut down your lifespan because I'm not going to get into the chemistry of it, but it essentially cuts the ends of your DNA and whatnot, and it makes it so you don't live as long as you could have. Um, but if I had to eat the same meal, I really like Chinese or Asian food, seafood, but um, to have the same meal, that would get boring. I assume by the same meal that means you can't really spice it or anything. So I'd rather drink the same thing. All right. Would you rather have every song you've ever listened to turn into Nyan Cat, or have every movie you've ever watched turn into Badgers, Badgers, Badgers? What the hell is Badgers, Badgers, Badgers? I'd rather. I'm assuming it'd be way better than Nyan Cat, whatever the fuck it is. Would you rather eat 50 excuse me 50 celery sticks every day, or eat 50 Brussels sprouts every day? I've actually never had Brussels sprouts before. I've had celery, but at least I can eat celery with stuff like peanut butter. And celery is good for you, so why not? Would you rather have supernatural agility or have supernatural strength intelligence? Ooh. In most of my fighting games and like RPGs or not, I always prefer to have speed over strength because you can always knock enemies down with quicker but weaker attacks. But yet, I also like to use magic and have really high intelligence to be able to do things. But if I have to choose between intelligence or speed, uh, I guess intelligence because then I can figure out how to make supernatural agility. Alright. Would you rather have to wash your hands every 10 minutes or wash your hands once a month? For the stuff that I do at work, I almost have to wash my hands. I almost pretty much literally have to wash my hands every 10 minutes because of how dirty they get. Um, would you rather never be able to compliment or never be able to complain? Well, I don't know if this is just me trying to weasel my way out of this, or this is like a legitimate viewpoint, I get linguistic viewpoint for the English language. But complaining has a to complain has a how to word it. It has like a certain uh, tone to it. You can say something and it's not necessarily complaining, but if you say it in a specific way, the exact same words, it can be complaining. Uh, I like to compliment though, so I'd say probably never complain. All right, let's make this our last one. Would you rather be John Lennon or Paul McCartney? Well, being as John Lennon died before I was born, who knows? Maybe I got reincarnated from Lennon and there was a big ass gap. What did he die like 81 or something? I don't remember. If someone knows, remind me. Let me know in the comments if John Lennon died in 81. Uh, if I had to choose, because I prefer John Lennon over McCartney. All right, so we'll leave it here. I guess we'll leave it here for now. I'm just out of time. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, please hit the like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I might do a couple more of these if you guys are really into them. And I'll leave you on this. Would you guys rather live in a treehouse or live in a floating boathouse? I'd love to hear your guys' responses. And thank you for tuning in. And I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Thank you and bye bye.